Hello everybody, hybrident.tv, the wrestling network that streams loads of wrestling shows, has added my show, Laugh or Cry TV, and you can see a new episode there every Thursday as well. The official page is hybrident.tv, you can find the link there, but my actual official page is hybrident.tv /L or C, so Laugh or Cry, alright? They opted not to put the TV on the end of it. Another /, so go there now. So I was going to write this in my blog, but it really needs explaining. I was walking back from my studio after editing the other day at 5 in the morning and no one else was around, so it was quite scary. Like, it was pitch black because it hadn't got light yet. Everyone's asleep. No one's up at that time. Like, everyone with normal jobs isn't up yet. Even drug addicts have gone to bed by that time because the replay of Jeremy Kyle is finished. And I see at the end of the road, the size of a horse, a massive Great Dane, with no leash, no owner, and he spots me, and he stands, and he looks, and it's like a Mexican standoff, right? Do you have to pretend to be dead? Can they tell that you're scared? But before I can make a decision, he looked like that, from where he'd come from, and he went, and another, even bigger Great Dane walks out next to him. So now there's two. Unfair Mexican standoff, and it's 5 AM. And I'm annoyed as it is, because all the takeaways are shut, right? I'm thinking, what the hell do I do? But even before I can make that decision, the other one that just came out looks to where they both came from and does that again. I'm like, oh my god. And so I'm thinking, what, another one? And then comes out even taller than that one, but the silhouette of a human, and puts them on leashes, walks them safely just as we pass each other. I was going to write that in my blog, but I thought that really needed explaining because you couldn't, you know, write it in words. A picture tells 1,000 words anyway, and this is shooting at 30 frames a second, so I think it's done a good job. I was going for a walk the other day and I came across some graffiti that was created by what must be an up-and-coming Banksy type, because he cleverly misspelled the word scratch to reflect the poor education of today's youth. Right, this is absolute madness. The other day my mum... What are you doing, man?
It's funny, she was like...
Yeah. My mum said, and I wrote this in my blog, she has a lot on. Like, she's always really helping people and making the dinner and that. And she made, because I saw it in the kitchen, what she refers to as a hot country pie. Alright, it's really nice, okay? It was a big family gathering. Everyone was there. And she walked into the room and she said, everybody, and I'm going to say what she said in a minute, okay? But just be aware, she stopped halfway through because she was thinking, and I knew that because I'm aware of like how she is, right? And then she just walked back out, but everyone else went silent. And she went, because there was friends over too, and so she came in and said, everybody, who wants to eat my hot cunt? And then just walked out. Who wants to eat my hot country pie is what she was going to say. And you'd never normally phrase it like that either, would you? You'd never normally say who wants to eat my chocolate gâteau or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? Ebony? Yeah.
It's sad because she kept wanting to put her head on your leg, and then you kept doing wild hands and she was worried about it.
Sweet. Yeah, Tina, I'm stroking your pussy. Cat. I need to just do one more thing, but can you do it closer? Can you zoom in on my face? Right.
Wait.
Presumably you've ridiculously zoomed in. Have I predicted that correctly? Yeah? I knew you'd do that. The other day, it was a Sunday morning, and my mum phoned me up and said, would you like to come round? Dad's here. We'd like to invite you round for a roast. And this is, you know, I didn't know what to think. This is completely outrageous because the thought of me and my dad roasting my mum is not something I'd think that she'd ever suggest. and it was sickening and outrageous. I don't want to do that, but silly me. Obviously she didn't mean that type of roast. Okay? Because what I thought she meant was a comedy style, Comedy Central character assassination roast, where we'd be ripping into her with loads of jokes. And as I say, that's sickening. I wouldn't like the idea of that. Okay, what she actually meant was a threesome, which was fine. And then we had a chicken dinner. Hi everyone, this is pretty exclusive because I'm going to be debuting my new spring look, alright, for the camera. Debuting my new spring look. Do a countdown, Tina, from 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay? What do you reckon? Well done. That's shattered my confidence, you laughing at that. My confidence will be shattered. Are you fake laughing or something?
No!
Hello, the following video was intended as an introduction to this episode, but Tina said she doesn't want to be shown because she's got no makeup on, so I've blurred her face out. Can't do anything about it, not even in the court of law.
Do you know, I was saying sometimes I listen to songs. I like a song to be...
Hello. Welcome to the show.
In the ghetto, you know, as a kid growing up.
Pedro, you're not doing that. Have you shut yourself? She always gets cold.
Oh no. Oh no. I was coming out of an elevator the other day and just as I was getting in, I saw a man in a wheelchair reversing himself backwards out of it, and the doors were like closing just as he was about to get out, and I said, oh, mind your legs. And I saw that he had no legs. He was in a wheelchair with no legs. I felt awful. And the whole thing was madness because he was like swigging from a whiskey bottle, and he looked so drunk. I was going to make a joke about that. I was going to say, oh, you're so drunk you must feel legless, but I thought that would be in bad taste. Speaking of bad taste, I had a KFC the other day and it didn't taste very nice. I was going to make a joke about how the KFC box had more legs than he did, but I thought that would be in poor spirits. Speaking of poor spirits, the whiskey that he had was a cheap Asda brand supermarket owned one, you know, like they have on the top shelf. I was going to make a joke about how he wouldn't be able to reach the top shelf, but I can't think of a joke. I really wish I could think of one. I'd give my right arm to think of one. Or leg. I should do stand-up comedy, Tina. Although that would, if he heard the routine, he'd be doubly affected because he wouldn't be able to even do the medium of stand-up. I suppose if I did do the stand-up comedy and he found out I was doing it, he could then sue me. But he wouldn't know it was him though, would he? He wouldn't be able to prove. He wouldn't be able to prove that I was talking about him. He wouldn't have any, he wouldn't have a, oh, what's the phrase? He wouldn't have a case. He wouldn't have a case. Hello, so I've been looking for an agent and I finally found an agent called Joyce, so welcome to the team. I was basically recruiting someone to come and work at Laugh or Cry TV, and I saw like some other methods of recruitment on websites. One of them said the classic, you don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps. So I sent out memos and said, you don't have to be mad enough to put up with me being a controlling, obnoxious cunt to work here, but it helps. And after some rejections, finally found Joyce, so welcome to the team, and I'm going to show you in a minute the video that I sent out to introduce myself, and also the BBC, separately, asked me to send them a video introducing myself after I've been swapping emails and stuff. Another thing I wanted to say about trying to find an agent is that, although I went through a few before I found one, I did get a good quote from one of them, we like you. That's what the agency said, we like you, so that's on my website. Now, admittedly, it was as part of the sentence, we'll get back to you if we like you. Hello everybody, hi, my name's Ed surname, and I'm looking for a new agent. I'm a radio presenter and a TV presenter, but I'd say what most defines me are my comedy videos that I make. Specifically, I had a weekly spot on New York TV, that was from October to February 2011, and the reason I'd say that most defines me is because what I'm quite proud of is the bits that I worked on. I produced, directed, starred in, performed in them, so I wrote them as well and edited them. And that was all self-taught, and got my own weekly spot off of that. And I'm looking for a new agent now. I've also done stand-up comedy, so live shows, and I've also done wrestling, which I'm really proud of, because that's acting with no second takes. It's live improvisation, it's experience in front of live crowds. You ruin your reputation if you do one thing wrong, and I like to think I can turn my hand to anything that's performance. So therefore, I'd love to hear back from you if you'd like to work with me. I look forward to hearing from you. Would you like to introduce yourself to them as well? Yeah, come on. That's alright. Come on. Come on, introduce yourself to them, yeah? No, I'm not interested. Hello, my name's Ed surname, and I'm really experienced with TV presenting and radio presenting, and actually been interviewed by BBC Three, BBC Radio Cumbria and BBC Radio Gloucestershire. But I'd say what most defines me are the comedy videos that I make. Specifically, I made some comedy videos that I had a weekly spot for New York TV that ran from October to February 2011. And the reason I'd say that most defines me is because I actually produced, wrote, starred in, performed, directed and edited them, and all of that self-taught. I met a TV producer and he thought I had been professionally trained, which I was quite proud of. And what I'd like to do now is contribute to the BBC, and so if there's anything going on, TV presenting, radio presenting, because that's what I like doing the most, performing. I'd like to think I can turn my hand to all the other stuff, but what I'd like to do most is perform. So I'd like to hear back from you if there's anything that you think is suitable for me. Would you like to introduce yourself to them as well? Yeah, come on. That's alright. Come on. Come on, introduce yourself to them, yeah? No, I'm not interested.